Hey everyone, and welcome back. We love to explore the world of AI, and today we're diving into something pretty cool.
Hmm.
Nigeria's plan to become like a major player in AI.
Yeah.
We got our hands on this National Artificial Intelligence Strategy 2024 document.
Cool.
It's ambitious.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to break down the goals, the challenges, and you'll leave here knowing how Nigeria wants to make its mark on the global AI scene.
I think what's so interesting about this document is Nigeria isn't just looking at using AI, they want to lead.
Lead.
Yeah, like they want to be a leader in AI development.
Wow.
Their vision statement is all about harnessing AI's power, but like responsibly, ethically, and using it for sustainable development.
So not just building cool tech, but actually like using it to make a difference.
Exactly. They actually connect their AI strategy to the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Like, imagine AI helping farmers in Nigeria make the most of their land or improving healthcare in really remote areas.
That would be amazing. But can Nigeria really pull this off? What are their chances in this global AI race?
So the report does a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Classic SWAT.
Yeah. And their biggest strength is their young, tech-savvy population.
Uh,
They've
oh.
got a really active startup scene and a strong economy, which are all pluses.
Those are all good.
Yeah, but they also have this thing called Japa syndrome.
Japa syndrome. What is that?
So it's basically the trend of skilled Nigerians leaving the country.
Oh, leaving Nigeria.
Yeah, for better opportunities elsewhere. So it's a big brain drain.
Oh, so that's going to be a big challenge for them if they want to become a leader.
Yeah, they'll need to figure out how to keep that talent.
And on top of that, the report mentions another big challenge, internet speed.
Ugh, yes.
It says that Nigeria's internet speeds are way slower than the global average.
Yeah, if you think about how important internet speed is for AI, it's a huge hurdle.
I mean, how can they even think about leading an AI without the digital infrastructure?
Yeah, you need high-performance computing and reliable data centers to develop and deploy AI. And the report says Nigeria only has 6 data centers in the whole country.
6. Seriously?
Yeah, it's a big difference compared to those massive server farms that companies like Google and Amazon have.
Wow, that really puts it into perspective.
Yeah, shows you how much catching up they need to do.
So where does Nigeria stand globally in AI right now? The report mentions things like the Oxford Insights AI Readiness Index and the Global AI Index.
Right. Those rankings look at things like infrastructure, innovation, talent,
Yeah.
and investment in AI.
So the building blocks?
Yeah, and honestly, Nigeria's not doing so well right now.
Really?
Yeah, countries like the US, China, and the UK are way ahead.
Oh, wow.
The report even calls them the AI sprinters because they're setting the pace and investing so much in research and development.
AI sprinters. So if those countries are the sprinters, where does that leave Nigeria? Are they just stuck at the starting line?
Not necessarily.
Okay, good.
They're more like a runner with a ton of potential who's just starting to train.
I like that analogy.
They've got the talent and the drive, but they really need to address these challenges to compete.
Makes sense. But it's not just about being a tech powerhouse, right? There's also the ethical side of AI.
Oh, absolutely.
The report talks about the NIST framework for AI risk management and building trust in AI systems.
It's all about making sure AI is developed and used responsibly.
So what does that look like in practice?
Think about things like algorithmic bias, where an AI system might discriminate against certain groups of people, or AI being used in ways that violate privacy or make existing inequalities worse.
Those are serious concerns.
Yeah, it's about looking beyond just whether the technology works and considering its impact on society.
Right, so it's the bigger picture.
Exactly. And that NIST framework that the report talks about provides guidelines for building trustworthy AI systems, ones that are transparent, accountable, and fair.
Transparent, accountable, fair. I like that.
Yeah, and they also talk about good data governance, making sure that the data used to train AI is accurate and unbiased.
Okay, so it sounds like Nigeria is aware of these ethical issues.
Definitely.
But how are they actually planning to achieve all of these AI goals?
So the strategy lays out 5 main pillars, you could say. Infrastructure ecosystem, adoption, ethics, and governance.
5 pillars. Wow.
They're the foundation of their plan, and they're all connected.
5 pillars, 5 areas of focus. Let's break them down. What's the first one all about?
Well, we just talked about how big of a challenge infrastructure is.
Right.
So pillar number 1 is all about bridging that digital divide.
Okay, makes sense.
They're talking about big investments in broadband internet, high-performance computing, and expanding their data center capacity.
Laying the groundwork.
Yeah, exactly. And pillar 2 focuses on building up this vibrant AI ecosystem.
So like a community.
Yeah, exactly. They want researchers, startups, investors all thriving.
So creating the right environment.
Yeah, things like AI hubs and innovation centers,
Yeah.
getting universities and industry to work together, and attracting talent and investment from around the world.
So it's not just building the tech, it's building the community around it.
Exactly. Pillar 3 is all about making sure AI is actually adopted in different sectors of the economy.
Putting it to work.
Healthcare, education, agriculture, finance, you name it. They want to see AI making a difference.
Okay, so taking it from the lab to the real world, what about those last two pillars, ethics and governance?
Yeah, those are super important. Pillar 4 tackles all those ethical things we were just talking about, making sure AI in Nigeria is fair, transparent, and accountable.
And how do they plan to do that?
They're talking about setting up an AI ethics council to provide oversight and guidance.
An AI ethics council. That's interesting. I want to hear more about that. And what about the last pillar, governance?
Governance is all about creating the rules and regulations that make sure AI is used for good while also making sure there's still room for innovation.
So finding that balance.
Yeah, they want guidelines for data privacy, algorithmic transparency, and making sure AI is developed responsibly.
So a lot to consider.
Yeah, they're trying to cover all the bases, but with goals this big, there are bound to be challenges.
Definitely. Like, what are the biggest hurdles they'll face?
Well, one of the biggest will be getting enough funding to make all these things happen.
Yes. Money always seems to be the issue.
The report says they need both public and private investment, so they'll need to convince people to open their wallets.
Money talks.
Exactly. But even with the money, there's the risk that this big focus on AI could actually make the digital divide worse.
That's a good point.
The report even says that some people might benefit way more from AI than others.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about making sure everyone benefits.
Exactly. It's about social progress as much as technological progress.
That's what makes this so interesting.
Yeah, it's not just about building cool tech, it's about using AI to make a better future for all Nigerians.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about their vision for AI, strengths and weaknesses, the 5 pillars of their strategy, and some of the key challenges.
Yeah, we've just scratched the surface, though.
Really? There's more.
Oh, yeah. There's so much more to unpack in this document, especially when it comes to the specific things they're planning to do.
Okay, so like the action plan.
Exactly. The nitty-gritty details.
Well, I am all about the details, so let's dive in.
All right, let's do it. So one of the coolest things they're doing is creating these AI centers of excellence.
AI centers of excellence. What are those?
They're basically hubs where all the best AI minds can come together.
Like a think tank for AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They can collaborate, share knowledge, and develop cutting-edge solutions.
And where are they going to set these up?
They want them all over the country, not just in the big cities.
That makes sense. So it benefits everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's about spreading the AI love.
We talked about the Japa syndrome earlier, so it seems like attracting and keeping talent is a big deal for them.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of talent, there's this other really interesting thing called the Nigerian AI Talent Transfer Program.
Nigerian AI Talent Transfer Program. So
Yeah.
what is that?
Basically, they're inviting global AI experts to come to Nigeria and share their knowledge.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Are they offering anything specific to get these experts to come?
The document mentions incentives and support systems, but it doesn't really go into detail.
Yeah, I guess they'll have to be pretty competitive to attract the best people, especially with all that brain drain.
You're right. It's got to be more than just money, right?
Yeah, people want to feel like they're doing something that matters.
Exactly. They want to feel inspired and like they're making a difference.
So we've got these centers of excellence. We're bringing in global experts. What else is in their plan?
Well, they also know that just having good ideas isn't enough.
Yeah.
You got to actually turn those ideas into products and services that people can use.
Right, you got to make it real.
Yeah, and that's where NEPCE comes in.
NEPCE, what's that?
The Nigerian AI Partnership for Commercialization Excellence.
That's a mouthful, but I like it. It's catchy. So what does NEPCE do?
Think of it like a bridge between research and the marketplace.
Okay, I'm listening.
It connects researchers with entrepreneurs, investors, industry partners, helping them turn those AI innovations into actual businesses.
So it's about making sure that AI solutions don't just stay in the lab, but actually get out there and do something.
Exactly, and hopefully make some money along the way.
Yeah. Sustainability is key. And speaking of sustainability, they also have a whole section on green AI.
Oh yeah, that's a hot topic right now.
What exactly is green AI, though? Are we talking robots planting trees?
Not quite, but it is about making sure AI doesn't hurt the environment.
Okay, makes sense.
AI uses a ton of computing power, which uses a lot of energy. So green AI is all about finding ways to make AI more energy efficient.
So using less energy and maybe even using renewable energy to power it.
Exactly. It's about making sure that as AI grows, it's not contributing to climate change, but actually helping us fight it.
That's a really cool idea, and it seems like an area where Nigeria could really stand out.
Yeah, they could become a leader in developing and using AI in a way that's good for the planet.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. It's not just about Nigeria becoming an AI powerhouse. It's about using AI to build a better future for everyone.
You got it. And that's what makes this strategy so exciting. It's ambitious and forward-thinking, but it's also grounded in a real understanding of the benefits and risks of AI.
We talked about some of the challenges they'll face too, like funding and the brain drain.
For sure, those are big ones. But maybe the biggest challenge of all is building public trust.
Public trust. Why is that so important for AI?
Well, there's a lot of fear and uncertainty around AI.
Yeah.
People are worried about losing their jobs, about AI being biased, about it being used for bad things.
Yeah, those are all valid concerns.
Exactly. And if people don't trust AI, they're not going to support it or use it.
So how do you build trust in something as complicated as AI?
Transparency is a big part of is being open about how AI is being developed and used, explaining the benefits and risks clearly, and involving the public in the conversation.
So making sure AI isn't something that's being done to people, but with them.
Exactly. It's about showing people that AI is there to serve their needs, not the other way around.
That's a powerful idea. Okay, so we've talked about the pillars, the initiatives, the challenges, but is all of this actually going to work?
That's the million-dollar question. Nobody knows for sure, but this strategy definitely shows a lot of promise.
They seem to have thought this through pretty carefully.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to talk about the tough questions and the potential risks.
So they've got a plan, they've got the ambition, now it all comes down to execution.
Exactly. And speaking of risks, there's actually a whole section in the document about potential risks that they need to watch out for.
Risks, huh? Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What kind of risks are we talking about here?
Some are things we've already mentioned, like jobs being replaced by AI, algorithms being biased,
Mm,
AI being used for the wrong reasons.
right, right.
But they also talk about things like an AI arms race.
An AI arms race? What's that?
It's like where countries are so focused on developing powerful AI that they kind of forget about the ethical side of things.
Oh, wow. So like countries battling it out with super intelligent machines.
Yeah, it sounds like a sci-fi movie, but it's a real concern. And to Nigeria's credit, they're not ignoring it.
So they're aware of the risks, but what are they actually going to do about it?
They have a few ideas. For example, to deal with job displacement, they're planning on investing a lot in retraining programs and education.
Makes sense. You can't just throw people out of work without giving them the skills to do something else.
Exactly. And to fight algorithmic bias, they want to use diverse data sets and make sure the algorithms are transparent.
Diverse data sets.
Yeah, the idea is if you train AI systems on data that represents everyone, then they're less likely to be biased against certain groups.
So it's not just about the AI, it's about the information it learns from.
Right, and to prevent AI being used for bad things, they want strong ethical guidelines and rules in place.
Okay, like guardrails.
Yeah, making sure AI is used for good and benefits society.
It sounds like they're really thinking this through, trying to stay ahead of any problems.
Yeah, that's one of the most impressive things about this strategy. It's not just about the technical stuff, it's about the kind of future they want to create with AI.
A future where AI is a tool for good,
Yeah.
not something to be afraid of.
Exactly.
Oh,
But, of course, having a plan is one thing, making it happen is another.
right. Good point. So is there a plan to put all of this into action?
Yeah, there's a pretty detailed implementation plan in the document, but we'll have to wait and see how well they actually do it.
Implementation is always the hard part. What are some of the most important things they need to do to make sure this strategy actually works?
Well, money's a big one. They need enough funding to make all of these ideas a reality.
Right, because all of this sounds pretty expensive.
It is. The report says they need both the government and private companies to invest, so they got to make a strong case.
Money makes the world go round, but even if they have the money, what about the people? We talked about the brain drain. How do they make sure they have the right people to do all this?
That's where those training programs and the Nigerian AI talent transfer program are important. They got to find and keep the best AI people, both in Nigeria and from other countries.
So investing in people.
Yeah. And they also need to focus on education and training to get young people ready for a future where AI is everywhere.
It's about building for the long term.
Exactly. And maybe Most important of all, they got to get the public on board.
Public support.
Yeah, people need to understand AI, how it can benefit them, and what's being done to make sure it's used safely and ethically.
So making AI something that everyone understands, not just a few experts.
Exactly. If people feel like decisions about AI are being made without them, they'll be suspicious. But if they're involved in the conversation, if they understand the goals and how it works, they're much more likely to support it.
It's about transparency, communication, and working together.
And at the end of the day, it's about showing people that AI is there to serve them, not the other way around.
Wow, this deep dive has been amazing. I knew Nigeria was doing some interesting things with AI, but I had no idea how big their plans were.
It's definitely a bold vision. It'll be really interesting to see what they do.
And a big thank you to all of you for joining us on this deep dive into Nigeria's AI ambitions. We covered a lot of ground, the strategy, the risks, the challenges, and more.
We looked at the opportunities, what could go wrong, and all the ethical questions that come with building a future powered by AI.
And as always, we hope you keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.
Because in the world of AI, there's always something new and exciting to discover.